Rah! It's Linda Builder here. How's it going, folks? Hope you guys are enjoying your life, staying safe in the COVID 19. Um, this particular topic has really got me thinking, not just today, but I've been making similar videos on this, but ever since I was a kid, I always have these huge question marks and, wanting to know why Westerners in Western countries, I'm not saying first generation, third, second, third, and fourth, fifth, sixth, eight, whatever you say, it gets weaker and weaker. Especially the first generation came to Australia to work hard, and the second generation, the kids saw their parents how they is, and the third one it just completely gone down south. Can be the second one as well. Um, when I think about it, I say, man, we should stop, immigration, like skilled migrant or skilled visa or whatever, start an international student come to Australia and let the locals, um, give the locals a fair go and, give them an opportunity instead of those in the other seas. Because what we're seeing right now is a huge welfare state, and there's a highest number of unemployment rate in the youth at the moment. Then I took a step back and I look at it deeply. And what I see is that, and I did make this video in the past talking about there's no point having kids. And when I look deeply, what I see, many of the kids who goes to school, all of us go to school and go to high school, and then you go to university. And I spoke to, those those who are employers, and have a look from a far distance and ask them, would you hire any of them, or would you hire those kids that was on the 60 minutes saying that they need a job? And basically they'll say no. They'll slack off, they'll want holiday pay, they don't want to work overtime, or it's not feisty anymore. Like, they don't, like, the younger generation doesn't have the young, the hunger of working, because we has born and brought up in this society has never experienced hunger or threat or things like that. But we always put the fingers blame on it's too much immigration, this and that, blah blah blah. But when I look deeply and I look at the nature, not only just many employers look at, lots of high school students or university students coming out and would hire them. It's simply the fact that the child being raised in the Western world, it's so different, especially right now. Now I got my co-workers, one of them who raised their kids in Australia, another one raised their kids back in their hometown in countries in Africa, and it tells a huge difference. Like the urge of learning on the urge of hands-on. Yes, in a third world country, it doesn't have the education level that what we have here, but unfortunately, in the current world, and even yesterday, I was speaking to my old good mate, saying that his boy is like, I think 2 years old, and he was going crazy on his phone, smartphone, iPhone. They're starting deleting stuff, start playing stuff, and now the instant gratification for kids nowadays are going a lot more crazy on technology, iPads, computer, laptops. Actually, it's more of tablets and phones, a lot more crazier than my generation. My generation, I was exposed. I had my first phone at the age of 13. I had the Nokia 3315, which is a black and white screen. Didn't have a camera until I was probably like 14 or 15. That's when camera phones start rolling out. But kids nowadays being learned and instant gratification on this smart technology. Like, don't get me wrong, which is great, but not willing to learn. But the instant gratification is gone out the window. Therefore, social media is so heavily, like, they wouldn't put down their phone. Like, for example, Snapchatty or TikToky and Instagrammy, whatever you guys you call the rest of the Zoom or whatever. But for me, I'm not addicted. Like, I just, I don't have that instant gratification. But kids nowadays, and the employer wouldn't hire them. They're more focused on that sort of stuff, or they kids nowadays are learning a lot more about the social justice and not learning about the real life common sense things. That's the problem. Employers nowadays, they want to hire those who are, smart with their feet, think with their feet, have a bit of common sense knowledge on society and life, and within the workplace, benefit the workplace, generating more income for the workplace. In return, they'll secure their employment, which is good. All right, I'm not saying it's bad or good or anything like that, but I see, you know, the local students are, you know, when I go to university and I see that many international students in comparison to a local student, it's a far number ahead. Where local students are studying so much social justice, feminist cause. And it's a crime to look at a girl. It's a crime to say one word wrong. That's the society that we're in, and it just drives in even weaker. Where the West, where those who are migrant countries, they're thinking of, oh my God, the Western world is such an offending country. Oh my God, you get offended easily. But they don't really deeply understand, because they know life is a lot better than the Western country. Then what's in back home, they can make double the triple, that second chance, and they can chase their Australia dream or American dreams. I don't think, the kids here are very, very driven towards to American or Australia dreams. Even the other day when I had dinner with my missus, I think one of her family members and her friend circles, which is around our age as well, and talking about, I just want a house, but but I don't want an old house because there's just too much cracks, and I'm just there. I'm like, come on, man! Like, gotta be realistic. You gotta jump on board and take it. But when I see them, they don't have any cooking experience or any life experience, and they never move out from their parents' house, and they expect to have the life what they had from their parents, which is, as a if I had a kid, I'm pretty sure I'll do the same thing. But they are not ready to enter within the society. Yeah, they can have a job, but it's just the life skill. It's just not there. That's why those who are come from third world countries, they are a lot coming from the collectivism background, and not like the ones here. It's more individualism. You have your freedom, and which makes me understand, like, a lot of Asians, they think about Aussies or Westerners. Oh, you kick your kids at the age of 18. You don't care about your kids, and your kids grow up, whether it's a screw up or make their way to, learn their experience to be where they are today. And that's the way how the Western should be like, not like. But now it's a different story. But I'm just saying, like, it has that sort of norm, like thinking of that. It's not such an area. But that's why I'm saying, like, when I went to RMI, like when I went to like university, I see the amount of like, Nepalese, Bangladesh, and Chinese and Indian and Pakistan and South America. They ace their assessments. They ace, even though they struggle to adapt the language. They worked hard, ass off. They weren't born into that language, and us locals will get beaten down. And that's why I really destroyed that debate on too much immigrant um, creates a negative effect. I just don't think the locals are up to the game. And not only just that, but like what I really learned from university, and what I saw the job interview question, they sound so similar, but you have to answer them differently. And obviously, as a local student, in comparison to a third world country, or those who come from refugees, or those who come from a Centrelink, like a welfare state, from a job agency, they have higher chances of getting a job in comparison to kids who graduated from university and high school in their own land, because they don't know how to tackle it, how to be hungry, how to be like snap on the dot, because there's going to be groups of interview, groups activity, and sometimes you may take the lead and work together and collaborate together and thinking as a critical analytical in a way that work in this sphere. And that's why I said the local students are failing behind, And that's why I say I believe, not because I'm pro, I'm anti-abortion or things like that, but there's no point having kids because in the Western world, only if I have my kids, if I chuck them to a third world country and change their nature versus nurture and change their environment and bring it here to make them more hustling. So that's why I said the Western world is just, it's tough. It's tough, man. It's tough. That's why I said, like, I like to think like a conservative and not having immigrants coming to the Western world. But in reality, they are dying out. They're weakened out already.